we should not forget that school is not bound as a social elevator for students, for pupils, but it has to create a new dynamics inside the family to create pride and not division. This is a fundamental mission of education.
Creating a core of WISE pioneers, where each country present here would have to identify perhaps 100 young people who become WISE pioneers, who we might put together from time to time. And actually in 20 years' time, she spoke of 2030, but let's say in 2029, we'd get together with all those young people and see whether we actually succeeded in being WISE.
A book is a technology, and the people who use the book as an example against technology don't understand what they're doing.
The time has come for a new culture of ISR, intellectual social responsibility, one that takes teaching, learning, and research beyond the campus, laboratory, or classroom, one that responds to the aspirations and idealistic zeal of the young people to make a difference in the real world, one that harnesses its energy and promise to the search for real solution to the real problem confronted by the real people.
We need an environmental policy that slows down climate change and reduces water consumption. If we fail to live up to this responsibility, we will destroy the natural foundations of life for our children. But this kind of attitude has to be learned. And where do people learn it? Mainly in places where education takes place, in families, at schools and universities.
As I said before, that we should start talking about quality education for all, not only access to education or education for all.
Mr. Akasaka quoted the recent New York Times article on Afghanistan where the cost of one soldier was equated with the cost of 40 schools. When we look to resources, Afghanistan clearly has limited resources of its own to rebuild its education system, and it needs strengthening and it needs the support.
In Rwanda, they stopped teaching history in the schools in 1994 because they didn't know what version of history to teach. All the textbooks they had available to them were written by regime after regime after regime and only reinforced differences, divisions, and ethnic hatred. And so they just stopped teaching it. And so we helped Rwandans come to terms with not a consensual version of what happened in various parts of their controversial history, but rather an expose about different understandings of what happened and why, and using that as a source of dialogue.
A new technology or technologies does not merely add something. It changes everything.